Hi everyone, I am really excited because I have received this lovely book today. Obviously Johanna Basford's new book Rooms of Wonder. I know lots of people have done flip throughs already, but I just wanted to do one as well. My book came a day late, so I'm going to be a little bit late with this flip through, but never mind, I'm going to go for it. Now I was going to do a flip through showing all the keys and doors because Johanna said in her flip through that there was some on every page bar one, but I decided that I would leave that because I think it's a bit of a spoiler and it might be something that you guys want to do yourself. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to flip through and maybe talk about some ideas for colouring for the pages and point out things that jump out at me. And also at the end I'm going to colour something in, so if you've seen a flip through before, you don't want to see the flip through, do wait till the end because there'll be some colouring. So I don't know what page though yet, I'll decide as I go. So let's have a look through. So let's just have a look at the book. It's the same size as Johanna's standard colouring books, so square in size and quite large, and it's got beautiful gold on the cover, and we've got all sorts of bits and pieces on here, and then on the back we don't have the gold but we have a similar design, so you can colour that in. The cover's matte. I never coloured Johanna's covers in. I rarely even colour this page. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So anyway, let's go on. I'm just checking my lights on. It is, so that's good. So we have key design on here, lots of really pretty ornate keys, which is interesting. You could colour them all different colours, or you could do golds and silvers. There's going to be quite a lot of metallics, I think, in this book because of the keys and the locks. So we've got a key and a lock here. I know I'm showing you this one. I said I wasn't going to do it on every page, but this one's very obvious. But of course you don't have to, you could use metallic pens or pencils or practice your metallic techniques. It's totally up to you. So that's a lot of fun anyway. So let's go through now. I'm being really careful that I'm turning every page. In my Worlds of Wonder flip through, I missed a page out because I turned over 2 pages at once. Oops, nobody ever told me. But I wonder how many of you noticed. So here we go on the page with all the little bits and pieces, copyright page I guess. We've got 2 really pretty keys. They're actually the same key, just turn around, and a lovely flower. So it's a really simple design, a really fun one, I think, really nice. And we have the This Book Belongs To page. Again, we just have a sort of pretty swell really, a sort of a flourish with a few leaves and stars. I think that's really pretty. Now on this page we have the introduction and the guide to exploring. I don't know whether I'm going to read them out. I think that might be a little cumbersome, but I'll tell you about this pattern because it's really small. I could hold it a little bit closer so you can have a little look at it. You can see that it's a leaf and floral pattern. It's very, as I say, it's really small and detailed, but it's actually this part, each corner is just repeated all the way around on each one. So you could choose to do every single leaf the same colour throughout, every single bell type flower or whatever, which is probably what I would do, and I would treat it as a double page, and I think that would just make it less daunting for me. And because they're so small, I probably wouldn't do much shading, just do some block colouring. It'd be quite relaxing, wouldn't it? I always find these side really hard to colour, especially in a new book. But what I do is I get another of Johanna's books and pop it under here so I can lean on it, and that helps me to colour it more easily. We've got lots of keys here as well, which is rather fun, all sorts of different designs, which I think is really good. And here we get started on the actual pages. So obviously we have a double page spread, and I think this is the Lost Property Office. If you watch Johanna's video, she tells you what the rooms are called, but I'm just trying to remember. But I just find this one really interesting. It's quite daunting. There's lots and lots of different things. There's going to be lots of colours being used. So you could approach it by using a limited palette, but I think with this many things I probably wouldn't. I would probably just go for it. Lots of colour, lots of different colours, and we've got a background here is the wall. I'll probably keep that really simple, quite pale, maybe just a light beige, a pale pink, a pale blue, something like that, so that it doesn't really stand out, but it just looks like you've made the effort to colour. And if you do it lightly, it doesn't take long. And also if you do it one colour, it's quite plain, that makes it easier as well. And you could leave these shelving units, you could leave them white. IKEA do a lot of white shelves, so you know, maybe they're IKEA shelves, or you could do them sort of wood. I'd probably do them wood because I like colouring wood, but you know, it's up to you how you do those. And we've got all sorts of bits and pieces on that one. So yes, that's quite a daunting page. What I would do was I would pick one item I really liked, teddy bear, start there, then look for another one. And I probably wouldn't tackle it as a double. I would do it one at a time because it's a lot going on. So do one page and then the other page, and just note down a few key colours. So the background, the shelving, I would note that down so that when I came to do this page, I would remember what I'd done. You know, the brand of pencil, the specific colour, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't have to colour them at the same time if I felt like I didn't want to. Now I love this page. This page is going to make a fantastic tutorial series. There are 50, my maths is 5 by 5, 5 by 5, 50 different items to colour, and I think that's great fun, and I will do this as a series, I'm absolutely sure. When? I do not know, but you know, some of them are really small and simple. They're going to be great for my sort of afternoon videos when I just do a little thing in the afternoon. You know, a tea time treat, I guess it is. So I think that'll be really good fun. Some of them are going to be more complex than others. I'm just looking back and forth. So we've got a boot, which I'll probably do all the same colour, and maybe different colour sole and lace and label. Whereas if you look at something like this hat, we've got lots of florals. We could do lots of different colours on that one. Or what did I see? The cassette, that's quite tricky. I wonder how many of you are too young to know what those are. So that's quite fun. So we've got all sorts of lovely items here. So again, all our sort of lost property items. And then we have 4 here, which again, I may do as tutorials. There's quite a lot of scope for tutorials in the book, so I'm not sure. You could always put a comment and tell me what you'd like me to do, because that helps me. Although I'm full of ideas, I've always got more ideas than time. You know, it just helps me a little bit to know what you want. So we have the hat making and the knitting and embroidery. We have the sort of gardening and bag making. So we've got those 4. If I was going to do one, I'd do 4. I wouldn't just do one. They may not be consecutive videos though. A bit like my flourish birds, they're all done at different times. And my houses in bottles from Worlds of Wonder, they weren't done one after the other. This is the Origami Room, which Johanna has coloured in her sort of promotional video for the book. So that's rather fun. I thought when I saw it, it looked really tricky and detailed, but now I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, it's not so bad as I thought. You've got this outdoor bit, which is quite simple. You know, just sky. Say just sky. I know sky isn't easy, but it can be all one colour. You know, it doesn't have to be complex. We haven't got, there's a few little origami things, but what I would do is probably think, what colour paper might I have? I might have yellow, pink, blue, orange, green. Grab those and do those colours for all of them. So there might be, all these might be pink. This might be green, this might be green, this might be green. Do you see what I mean? So I'm not having a big wide colour palette, and it makes it much quicker and easier if you sort of think I'm just going to limit. And again, with the papers in here and the rolls of paper here, you keep within that palette, and I think it'd be a lot easier. And also maybe just using a set of pencils when you've got 12, 24 rather than 150 might make it a little bit less daunting. Okay, we've got a lovely round design here. Again, this was one I thought I could do because there aren't a lot of elements, to be honest. You've got a heart button, you've got a pair of scissors, a pin, a roll of cotton, an embroidery thread, another button and some more buttons here, a ball of wool and another roll of cotton, and that's it, and then it repeats. Now for me, I would want them to be the same, so every one of these the same colour. Do you see? So I could just show you how I was going to colour each item, and then that would get you going on the on that one. I think it's rather fun, but we'll see. I'm still thinking over what to do tutorials for you for. Now this one to me is a lot more complex than the Origami Room. Got lots of jars and different buttons and things like that, and there could be scope to be a mad mishmash of colour. So I think I will have to think carefully about this one. This one reminds me very much of the Wonder Room, lots of shelves, little bits and bobs everywhere. Obviously desk and chair, all that going on, shelving. But I think, there's so many pretty items, it makes it less daunting in a way. But, I will think about how to approach it. Now on this page we just have our key and our lock. I've only just remembered about lock and keys. My book's got a bent corner. Oh wow, this is what it is. And the cover is a bit bent. Never mind. So yeah, I haven't remembered about looking for locks and keys in the other rooms. But these are really beautifully pretty florals, but they are quite small. But I think it could be a nice relaxing page again where you just don't do shading, just block colour round and round. You could use a pen or a pencil, and I think it could be really lovely. And I think some really delicate colours would work really well on that. Now, I'm not a pinky person, as you know, but I would think pink, purple, blue, all light colours would just look really nice. I may completely change my mind. Now here we have a repeating pattern, wallpaper-esque. This bloom repeats here and here, and then there's this one which is like a almost more open version, and they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Remind me a bit of this picture actually, which I just happen to have there, from World of Flowers, which is the planner page I'm about to think about doing. Oh, that's interesting. Look at the colour of the planner compared to the colour of the book. I'm sure this book isn't white though. There's a white Rita Berman postcard. It is cream, but it's not as yellowy as the planner. How very interesting. Anyway, just in case you wanted to know. So again, I would probably do every flower, even though there are different types, in the same colour. So maybe purple, but do them different shades of that colour. And that would just keep it easier for me. I think this needs a background. It's looking to me like it needs one, but that's a lot of background, so I don't know. We'll see. I won't be doing that one today. So here we have more floral type rooms. This one has a lot of flowers here. I'm just having a look to see if some of them are similar, but actually it looks like Johanna's just gone quite random. Although we've got some curly ones, I love those. And some big petals. So you could pick some out that are similar and do them the same colour as each other. I think that's what I probably do. So all the ones that have long petals, like this one and this one and this one, although they're not the same, I'd probably do those the same colour. And then these squiggly ones, probably do all those the same. That sort of thing. Ones with rounded petals the same, just to bring it together a little bit. We've got a typewriter here. I wonder how many of you have used a typewriter. I have. My dad used to have two. I don't know why he had two. And I remember him sometimes getting them down from the attic. Although we had a computer from when I was quite young, I used to have great fun banging away, getting all the keys stuck together, things like that. Making a mistake and not quite knowing how to erase it. Oh, yes. Anyway, the days before delete button. This is a very fun picture. So we have a sort of outline of a house, but inside it's like a forest. Now I'm thinking what this background is here. Is it a cloud? Is it a bush? Is it, a rock? I don't know. So there's our imagination coming in right there. What is that? I don't think it matters how you colour it as long as you make it obvious what it is. If it's cloud, do it pink. If it's a rock, do it grey, and if you think it's a bush, do it green, and then it'll just work for any of those. But we have lovely trees. What I'd probably do is do these trees first, the sky. We've got stars in the sky, so it's dark, but I probably wouldn't do it black. It's a bit harsh. I would probably do it maybe a dark purple or a dark blue. It's prettier than black, I think. But I might add in some black just to make it darker, because you're going to have to layer it up a bit if you want it dark. And then maybe do these and then see what that calls out to me with regards to colour once I've coloured in, because there's going to be a lot of green going on. You know, so if this is a green bush, would I have one that will look right? Don't know. So that's how I would approach it. It's good fun. Oh, and now we have our... I was looking here, saying, oh, mushrooms, toadstools. There's a toadstool room, isn't there? Here it is. So it's a bit like, is it Worlds Within Worlds, where you get a clue to the next page in the picture before? I think I've just about found all of those. So we have our mushrooms and toadstools. Now this page is really fun. They're quite large, most of them. Some of them are little, to be honest. But we've got different types, and we've got these lovely bottles with light in hanging down, so I think that's really fun. That's beautiful. I can see that coloured by some amazing artists, looking amazing. I'll try my best. But this one is rather more daunting perhaps, because it reminds me of the Lost Ocean Googly Eye page, as we called it, with the little circles, or the World's Flowers page with all the tiny flowers. But these aren't quite that tiny. They are still small, but there is a repeating pattern through. So I would use that. I would do every mushroom that looked like that, and then every one that looked like that. And you can work out the pattern because it flows properly. You'll be able to see them and you won't miss any out. But what I might do is when I do this one, I might write down the colour combo just in case I miss one, because then when you've got to go back and try and remember what you did, that's quite tricky. So that little tip for you. Now we have some shelves. I think again these are lost property items, sort of hanging on our shelves here, which is quite fun. Or maybe it's just a shelf in someone's house. We have a jar of magic, which I rather like. That's good fun. And we have another jar with a house in and some jewels in front. So there's a lot going on, bottles and things, more bottles. I might be tempted to do the bottles all in a similar way, just to get some coherence there, but I'm not sure yet. And now we have our sort of underwater room. So we've got quite a lot of different fish and things, but what I like about this room is it's in sections. So if you're not very, you haven't got much time, this one, you know. If you've got a bit more time, this one, you know, so you can sort of break it down. You don't have to do the whole thing in one go. Also, the background may not be necessary. I don't think I would do one here. I think by the time you've done all the, I would do the silver for all these bits, and then the insides. I've got to decide on watercolour. You know, the colour of the water. Do you do it blue? Probably. So by the time you've done all that, I don't think you would need to worry about the background too much. Now here is a repeating design. We just basically have sort of floral flourishes, like and flowers. So you could just do each one the same. I mean, I could always do one for you and then you do the rest. What I might be very tempted to do is to keep most of it the same, because most of it is leafy or sort of I can't think of the words anyway. But there's two flowers. And I might change the colour of those flowers only within, maybe have them all the same across this horizontal row, and then maybe a different colour here, just to break it up just a tiny bit. Oh, I've just spotted the door. Ooh, how exciting. I haven't found the key though. Now I want to find it, but I won't, because it's going to be very boring for you. I also don't know if there's a key and a door in each picture, or whether it's across each double page, so that's something I'm going to have to look out for as well. I love this windmill, it's just the cutest. And we have these lovely balloons inside, and such a cute staircase. Oh, excuse me, it's going to be great fun, that one. I just spotted the key on that. It's very clever. Well done, Johanna. That's really well hidden. This one is rather nice. We have our sort of beehive room, and we have this sort of honeycomb which we could colour shade or just colour as, and we have lovely flowers. There's loads of florals in this book, so if you're liking your florals, there's a nice page for you. I know some people prefer florals and other people don't. So here, this room here looks quite officey to me. I remember Johanna pointing out that there's a melting ice cream on someone's desk there. I can't really deal with that on top of a book. No, you stay away from my books with your melty ice cream. I don't know what she's trying to do to us. What are you trying to do to us, Johanna? Give us a heart attack. Anyway, so that's a fun room. And here we have all sorts of office bits and pieces, and they do repeat. So we have a lamp here and a lamp here, and then that book there and that book there. So, excuse me, what I would do was colour them the same, each item the same way, but just to make it easier for me. You don't have to do that at all. And also, like, this lamp faces two different directions here and here. Would you still colour them the same? It's up to you. I found the key in the door on that page. And we have fruit. And it's the smoothie room, isn't it? Because we have two blenders here making our smoothies, which is rather fun. And all sorts of different fruit. I do enjoy colouring fruit. I really like the fruit and veg page in Worlds of Wonders. That's going to be fun. But actually this one, I think this one will be more fun for me somehow. I don't know why. But we've got all the different fruit there. So that's rather nice. And again, you know, once you've done the sort of this section, you can just repeat it round. I've got raspberry or blueberry. I'm never sure. Never sure. And this room, of course, this is the free download that Johanna's already produced. So those of you in the USA who haven't got the book yet, you will have access to this. And 2 people have already asked me to do a tutorial. There are lots already on YouTube, but I'll see what I can do. It's not going to be my first one, because today, after I've done this flip through, I'm going to find something quite simple to do. But I have thought about your request. I'm going to have a go, but I may not. I don't know when the competition ends. I know it's a competition page, and I can't promise I'm going to get it done by the time the competition ends, just because my time's short with workmen in, things like that. So we'll see how that goes. I really love this page actually more than that one. This is a lovely page. I love the magic of it, and I think the fact that Johanna's released it in its October Halloweeny time, I think makes perfect sense. But I just love all these bottles with different space things inside, and my thought was to do like a galaxy sky behind them, but then we've got to make them stand out somehow. So, you know, that'll be a challenge for me. But I shall find it fun. Now we have, now what's going on here? Because, it's ice cream. These are all ice creams. Because I was thinking, this is a dribbly bit. This reminds me a bit of all the ice creams we've got in Worlds of Wonder. We've got lots of sprinkles. We do have some fruit and different things like that. And I've just seen the key and the door on that page. That's fun. And this page is, again, it's almost like you could do this as a double page, because I'm thinking we've got the stripes behind here and we've got a stripe on a canopy here. We could tie it together by doing those the same, or doing the background of this, the wall, as one of those 2 colours, or you could always draw in stripes and make it identical if you'd rather, because I think that it's the same place, the same shop. Although why we've got the lanterns and the cuckoo clock in like a sweet shop? I think they're cakes actually, aren't they? Not really sure why, but I don't think it matters. And we've got bonsai tree and plants up there. And of course the random bunny rabbit, you know. My sweet shop doesn't have those. I shall have to ask them to get one. Now we have another house design filled with flowers, which is really cute. Again, Johanna's beautiful florals. I think that's just going to be fun. It's so adorable. I love colouring bricks. I love colouring flowers. What's not to like? Now this page is one that Johanna released for the Happy Place Festival, so a few people who went there have had a download of this one. And again, I think it's just your lost property office, just a random mix of items that you may or may not find in your house. Now this one intrigues me. I'd been studying this picture because people had coloured it, and I was like, oh, you know, you want to see what it's like. Is this a salt or pepper grinder mill? Salt or pepper mill with a crown on top? Or is it a chess piece? I think it's probably a chess piece. Anyway, jury's out. Who knows? Now we have I can find the key and the lock on this page, can you? This is rather fun because on this page we have all these circles, which I will do as gems, and an ornate key. And do we keep it quite plain with golds, silvers, or do we make it more colourful? We could these bits here, I don't know how well you can see these bits here, do we make them as beads? I don't know. It's rather nice, isn't it? And then do we make it as a double so they match? But this one's got a frame and this one hasn't, so maybe they're not meant to match. I don't know. My brains are whirring. Now this is another lovely page which sort of goes tutorial, doesn't it? So these are all the makeup things, like from a dressing table, and we have the dressing table over here. So I think that's rather sweet. I don't have a dressing table, I don't wear makeup, I don't really worry, I don't wear jewellery apart from my rings very often anyway. So it's all a bit different to me, but it doesn't mean that I haven't got lots of ideas of how to make these things look really pretty, because they are lovely. So that will be fun. These bottles are going to be interesting. Now this page I love because we've got this frame, and I like a frame detail on a page. I just think it's really pretty and lovely, and you can see the flowers are growing through the frame, and we've got this pattern on the carpet. It's quite intricate, but I think there's a lot there for us to work with. It's not too scary. The only small details are really these pattern on the carpet, and you can just colour over it if it's too tricky. Maybe these hearts and things a bit small, but they're not, there's not many. So I think that's fun. I think it's interesting this here. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a cotton wool balls in a jar, but they look like gumballs to me. Do you think they're gumballs? I just saw where the door was on that page. It's very cute. So now we're inside the wardrobe, and again, you know, tutorial each section or each clothing item. I'm not used to colouring clothes. I haven't coloured them much before, so that'll all be new for me. I know Rita Berman has quite a few clothes in her book, and I haven't done those pages either. So we'll see. I'm trying to remember which page it was that Johanna said there wasn't a key hidden on, because I couldn't find a key or a door on that page, but I'm not really looking. Sometimes they just jump out at me. The doors just jumped out of me on this page. Now this is so interesting and different. It might be tricky for you to see. Let me hold it a little closer. You can see that Johanna has drawn a floral shape which she repeats through the page, but she's also done an outline on it. Now sometimes I find when she outlines things it's a little tricky, but with this design I think it works brilliantly, and it actually looks quite easy to do, you know, to work with that outline. Sometimes I'm never sure what colour to do it or anything, but this outline to me gives me permission not to do the background. I can just outline everything and then not worry. So that's interesting. So we have a cuckoo clock with teapots, teacups, and a selection of sugar, teas, and I guess coffees, but maybe more teas because they are all teapots. I can't really spot a coffee pot. The door's quite easy to spot in this picture, and I've also found the key already, so that's fun. We have all sorts of puddings or desserts, depending on what you call them. So wibbly jelly. I had such fun with the jelly in Worlds of Wonder. But these are a little bit smaller, I think, than the cake page on that page. But we have, I mean, this could be like a pie, or it could be a cake, which is quite fun. And what are these? Are they nuts, candies? I don't know. And are these oranges? Or are they all different coloured cakes? Are they donuts? I love the fact that you can't I mean, I think those are pears. But I love the fact that you can't immediately guess with some of them. So it means that you can use your imagination a little bit. I do like having some guidance sometimes. Macarons, you can do them all the same colour, or you could do them all multicoloured. So that's fun. And I know that some people did their cakes before they drew in shelving, or they made it into a shop. So imaginative. I won't be doing that. I'll just colour them in. But again, it looks like a good tutorial page. So maybe. I like this page a lot. I found it very difficult to work out what was going on in any of the flip throughs that I saw of this page. But basically, if I talk you through it, might make it easier. There's 2 tree trunks here and the tops of the trees here. In between here, there is a bed, and there's also a window looking out into houses. And then there's your door into the room, and you've got a table there, and you've got vines going up and around. I love that idea. I like the fact that you've got some steps going up and around the tree, and they lead to the bed. It's very cute. I couldn't cope with sleeping on that bed myself. Let's not even think about rolling over in bed. I mean, I don't fall out of bed normally, but if I do, I'm not that far from the floor. I have fallen out a few times, usually when my children get in and give me a shove. They think it's hilarious, but I don't hurt myself. So here we have an outdoor shower, and I think this is such a lovely tropical picture for lovers of magical jungle. You've got your parrot, you've got a little frog, you've got your big jungly leaves. I think it's brilliant, and the bird of paradise flower, all sorts going on. So I think that's really good fun. I love that. And of course, what you do in the background. This shower head is attached to this wall. So what is this behind? Is it just a rock, a brick, a sort of rock wall, or is there something else going on? I've just spotted the key. Where's the door? There's a door there, but I think, is there a key there as well? I don't know. I still haven't figured out if there's only one door and one key per double page, or if there's one on each page. Anyway, I think it's per double. So I have a fabulous Welsh dresser here with a rainbow in the background, and we are making weather. I think this is such an imaginative idea, and it's such fun. So it isn't quite as complex as it might look, because I think every jar could be very much the same, and therefore once you've got your idea of how to do one, you're doing them all really. So that's fun. But there's a lot of imagination you can put into this if you're that way inclined. I'm not. I do love this room. So we've got our Mermaids underwater room. I think we saw a sneak peek of this quite a while ago actually from Johanna. But we've got all our underwater plants and things. That's rather fun. And this sort of edging, which is interesting. I don't know what to do with that, but that's fun. So good. Oh, we're back into the world of pudding, which Johanna likes her puddings, doesn't she? I think now she started drawing them, she can't stop. But they are great fun to colour. I don't eat pudding, but I like colouring it. It makes me a bit hungry, but but that's okay. So we've sort of got baking ingredients, I think, down here. That's how I would colour them anyway. And then all our puddings up here. I've just spotted the key. Haven't spotted the door though, so that's interesting. And then here we have a really pretty page with what I would say was like a celebration cake, a wedding cake or something, a showstopper as they would say in Bake Off. I've just found the door. So they are really fabulous. Oh, and we're on to the steampunk pages. Now, I know a lot of people really like steampunk. They get a little bit daunted by all the metallic effects. So I'm not sure if I've done a steampunk tutorial. I've coloured a few steampunk pictures and I actually find them good fun. So I can show you a few effects on some steampunk pages. I know there's some over the page which I'll probably do these. Now these are quite small and detailed, But I think with a lot of really detailed pictures, I would just colour right over the detail. But I think because we've got cogs and things like that, we probably need to show them. I have shown you a steampunk page from Elegant Elephants with cogs, just remembered. But I can think of a few cheats for this, which might help. We'll see. So anyway, I may do these for you. I think that would be quite fun. So we have, this is more of a steampunk laboratory because we have our conical flasks, which is interesting. It's an interesting sort of lab with sort of gauges and different things going on, so that's rather interesting, very different, a bit more like the sort of robotic style. Now I think again we have lost property. I think we have quite a collection of things here with a teapot and some spoons and a pram and a phone and small spoons and a chain, that's a watch, pocket watch, and a gramophone and a brooch, a jug, quite a couple of keys, and some fans and a necklace and a ring, a candelabra and some oil lamps. They're all quite old things. I think it's, I'm actually trying to remember, I think Johanna said it was like a museum or something. But on this side, these are more kitchen type things. So we have our coffee pot and jars of different things and cake and different fish slices and scales and things, rolling pin, different food. There is a sunflower here, which, and a rose in a vase. There's a few things that aren't necessarily very kitcheny, but I think it's definitely mainly kitchen things. I think it's a good fun, but there's no repeats, so every item is different. So again, that could be a little daunting. What I would do was I would either find an item I really liked, start there and move on to my next favourite and just do that way, or look for all the metallics, do all of those first and then move on from there, or just start from the top and work down. I think it's good to have a method. You don't have to stick with it. If you change your mind, that's fine, just change your mind. It's, you know, there's no rules, but I think starting with an idea as to how you're going to tackle the page helps you. And here we have the kitchen page. I think Johanna was saying about how all these things are on the floor, which, you know, it's a bit messy, isn't it? There's a lot going on, but again, for this page, what I will probably do the border first, and that would set my colour. Then all the florals in the page, there are some florals in here, would be done in the same colour scheme as this. I would stick to quite a limited palette. And then all the bottles and jars I'll probably do the same colour, and then all the kitchen furniture the same, like my kitchen, although my new kitchen, the wall cupboards are not the same colour as the base cupboards. You will get a picture. I've actually got a working oven and hob for this weekend. It's very exciting. I don't know if I can remember how to cook. But anyway, I'm not, everything needs cleaning really badly. I just wanted to come and look at my book. I didn't care about my kitchen. It sounds really naughty, but I've got to clean it, so, you know, that's a bit of a drawback. And I don't know where my mop and bucket has gone, because the workmen have been rearranging my garage, so I just come and look at the book. These are delightful. When I first saw this page, I immediately thought, this is one I'm going to do as a tutorial. Each item is on a little shelf, and there's a collection of little cute items. I think it's lovely. So that's another consideration for tutorial, but also this one. Now this has got such a Halloweeny feel. We've obviously got the cauldron, but also feathers and spell books and things. So it's just, you know, really lovely. And I think this might be a download. I can't remember. There are 3 on Johanna Basford's website. Only one has been released so far, but of course she's doing her launch week next week, so I'm assuming she'll release those as she goes through. But these are just gorgeous, and these are ones I want to do, definitely want to do some a series with. It's got a lovely feather, a sort of quill actually. Look at that witch's hat, and some special tea, and a spell book, candles, and a spooky plant, some critters in jars. It's a small jar for that little fish. Some lovely mushrooms, toadstools, and a key. It's got a ticket on. Some sort of parchment, a crystal ball, and here we have some potions, more feathers, a sort of magical moth or butterfly, and a cauldron. So much fun. And yeah, those I'm definitely looking forward to doing. Right, where are we now? We have parcels. Oh, this is the Harry Potter owl room, isn't it? I'm just seeing whether there are any repeats, but no, all of these are different. So again, just take one at a time. Think about if you want to do a lot of them browny beige, the colour of like brown paper, bags, wrapping, that sort of thing, parcels, envelopes, or whether you want to just go mad with colour. You know, it's up to you. Good fun. And this one looks really daunting. When I saw it, I thought, oh my goodness. But actually, if you look carefully, you can see a lot of the lines down here are bricks. So you colour the bricks, you've done a lot of the detail. Now with this particular page, there's a lot of little items down here. What I would do the bricks first, then the wood and this cabinet. I would do this cabinet in wood as well, but that's because I like wood. And do the steps. Then you can pick out the items a lot more easily because these all sort of merge into the shelf. Once the shelf's coloured, the items stand out more and it helps you to be able to colour them. That's what I find anyway. That's how I would approach it. Who would like their post delivered by an owl? You'd have to be at home, wouldn't you? So it would just drop it outside the front door. Now I love this. Do you imagine having a romantic meal in a little tropical house? I just thought it looked romantic. I don't know. But getting a bit old to be romantic, I don't know. I thought it looked lovely. I don't know about this well-balanced meal of pudding. But anyway, it's good fun. And now we have our gem room. Right, so I had to cut the video. My husband came to the door. I'd left the key in the door. He couldn't get in and it was pouring with rain. Oopsie. Anyway, I was talking about the gem room. I can't remember what I was saying. But I think I was saying that I learnt how to do gems from Helen Ellison's books. And so I shall enjoy having a go with those. They're quite small, which will be interesting. I like this bucket. What would you put in a bucket? They look round. I shall ask my son, who's doing geology, what would be that, what they would be. They might be geodes, I suppose. He'll know. So what do we have here? We have books and plant. It's just boxes and jars, all sorts of different things. It doesn't look like a lost property room though. It just looks like a sort of pretty room. And we have this. I think these might be fairy lights hanging off the shelf as well, which is rather fun. And over here though we have little rooms in bottles, in jars I guess, not bottles. I think they're really fun. I love this one. I saw this one coloured this morning. Someone had done it on and put it on Instagram. It's really pretty. So those are fun. Again, those might be candidates for tutorials. This one is quite simple and I rather like that. It means that you can just do it quite quickly. So we have our pineapple, which can be tricky to colour, but I've done a few, weirdly. I've coloured quite a few pineapples. And inside we have a house. Is it Spongebob Squarepants' house? I did wonder when I first saw it. And especially as there's like a shell-shaped chair. But I don't know. But anyway, it's rather fun. And this was the sort of celebration room, wasn't it? So we have it, it's in the shape of a cake, but lots of decorations and things. It's really fun. There are a few small details in there, but I think it's a really fun room to do. And the musical instruments, now these are interesting. I'll have to decide whether I'm going to do them proper colour, you know, what they should be, or whether I just do them a little bit different. I think I'll probably do them proper, just because there's a lot of metallic and I rather like doing metallics. And some of them though I can't identify. I mean, is that a, I assume that's a cor anglais, but what's that? And they've got a whistle and a recorder, but there's this sort of bell things. I don't know what they're called. A sort of luty harp type thing, but what's that? I don't know. So I may have to look up the things I don't know what they are first, make sure I know how to colour them before I then decide to do them all the right colours. Across this side, we've got quite an interesting mix of instruments. It's a, I think it's like a one-man band, isn't it? Which is good fun. Lots of horns and things. Good. Now this is our old-fashioned phone, telephone. I love annoying my children by calling my mobile phone or my cell phone, I call it a telephone. Mother, it's not a telephone. Like, phone is short for telephone. Had to wind up your teenagers. We've got windows here and here, which is interesting, and it's like a big cutout. We can see all the floors inside. It is teeny tiny. These leaves are so small. Look how tiny they are, but I think it'll be fun. It's just, you've just got to decide how your mood takes you. If you're in the mood for doing teeny tiny, then do this. If you're not, then maybe do this one. We've got some big geranium. There's quite a lot going on, quite a large areas here to colour, so that's okay. We've only got a few small details in here. Most of it's fairly big, so that's good. And oh, at the end, so you have the end here. Now what I like about this colour palette test page is we've got a few pictures. Now, are they in the book? I don't know, because we've got a top hat here with a label on and some cards tucked in it, and we've got a book here with bookmarks and labels in. I can't remember seeing either of those, but there is a lot going on in the book, so they may very well be in there. And these I definitely saw those, and the unicorn's got a label on, so I'm assuming it's one of the lost items, but I don't know. But that's really interesting, isn't it? What I think I'm going to colour is this page, but I'm just going to stop the video and get some paper behind it and get my pencils out and then come back and colour it, so that'll be fun. Okay, I have popped a piece of paper behind the page to make sure there's no transfer of print ink across. There isn't normally, but you never know. And I have my Polychromos pencils to have a go at this with. I'm just having a little look at what is in the picture so I can think about how to colour it. Now we have all these tendrils, and we definitely have some leaves, especially here. So I think I'm going to start by doing some of the leaves, and then I'm going to have a little think about the rest. Just going to find my pencil sharpener because they're quite small. Okay, what colour's that? That isn't the one I wanted. Right, we'll start with this one. So I'm going to use the Earth Green Yellowish because it's my favourite green, or one of my favourite greens, to do the leaves. And I'm going to start with these ones that are on the outside. And I'm just going to colour them in my usual way. It's a little bit darker at the bottom and then lighter towards the tip. Now I'm going to try and leave the tip to complete with another colour, but on these small ones, excuse me, it's quite difficult to leave much space, so I'm not going to worry. And the overturned bits I think I'll do in the other colour. It's only another shade of green. I'm just going to use the May green. They're quite similar colours, so you may not even really notice there's two different greens. This is the thing with some big sets of pencils, some of the colours are quite similar. That's why when you're buying open stock, it's always useful to sort of make sure you're aware of how similar or different the colours are and what they look like. It isn't easy if you haven't got the full set. I did do a video actually about my Polychromos to sort of talk people through which ones I would buy, which ones were very close. And, you know, because some colours I almost use interchangeably because they're so close in colour. So maybe, but if it's my favourite colour, having two that are close is good. Okay, now I'm just looking to see whether I'm going to do these as well as leaves. I think I'm going to do the, that's a flower. Maybe I'll do them as petals. So I'm going to use my May Green to finish these leaves off. This is a newer one, it's not in capital letters. And also the Earth Green Yellowish actually. The older pencils are in capitals. So I'm just going to complete the leaves really with this one. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more yellowy, but if you don't have it, just use the other one. It's not hugely noticeable. You can always use a little bit of yellow on the tip. And just go through. It's a while since I coloured in a Johanna Basford book. It's rather nice. Well, apart from the planner. I've been doing Halloween pictures and autumn pictures. It's been good fun. But got a lot to try and squeeze in this month. But that's okay. I was going to try and do Halloween videos for you. But I've done a few and a few autumn. But the autumn ones can wait until November as well. Because it isn't just autumn in October. I guess it does really start in September, but it shouldn't really feel so autumnal. But we're nearly at the end of these little leaves. I'm going to do the sort of petals next so that I sort of know where I'm going. I'm probably going to use a pink. I think this one will be nice. This is the pink Carmine. It's the pink Carmine. Yeah, you'll have to believe me. And I'm going to go here and not take it all the way to the end. I'm going to finish them off with the pink Carmine. No, the rose Carmine. I'm getting myself confused. Now, this bit here, do I do that as a big petal or do I do it as part of this sort of flourish? Not sure. I do these while I'm thinking. I just want it to look, doesn't really matter if it doesn't, which way it's going to be. I just need to make up my mind what I'm doing really. Which I'm not being very good at. What I do is if I can't decide, I do things I do know what I want to do with and then try and think about the others while I'm doing them. So I'm probably going to do most of this flourishy bit. Like there's a petal there, a leaf there, so that bit's got to be green. So I might do it all green. So but these could have been leaves, but I decided to do them as petals or else we would have a lot of green. I thought it would be nice to have something a little bit more colourful than just one colour. Oh, and that one. So that's sort of why I chose pink. But I've not seen this page coloured yet. Well, I've seen very few pages coloured, to be honest. It's early days. I've actually only seen the Circle of Lost Property, the obviously the Wizard's Room, the free download, and that one I mentioned to you with this sort of table with flowers on. That's all I've seen. I rather like it when you haven't seen any pictures from the book. You have to do it from your imagination. You're totally not inspired by anything or anybody. So I think that's really fun. But it can be a bit daunting because you've got to come up with it all by yourself and decide what everything is if you're not entirely sure I'm going to use this pink for the ends. It's called Dark Flesh on my pencil, but it comes as a salmon. Okay, and I'm just going to finish off the tips of each petal with that. That will be. I'm looking at those and thinking I don't want those as petals. I think they're sort of too entwined with the greens. But I think I may need to use more than just those two greens because there's quite a lot going on in different layers, particularly here. I'm waiting to hear back from my son actually. He's on a school field trip today. And he said the minibus or bus, I'm not sure, he didn't say actually, had a problem with its clutch, so it couldn't change gear. And they're on the motorway, going along very slowly, and didn't think they would get back to college in time to get home on the college bus. But he later messaged me and said he thinks he will make it. But in the meantime, I called his dad, who decided he would leave work early and be here just in case he needed picking up. So that's why he rang the bell in the rain. He wasn't due home from work this early. But he wanted to be here in case his boy needed him. The thing is, from where their college is, if he misses the bus, which leaves at 4, I think. He hasn't sent me a message to tell me either way. I think it's 4:05. If he misses that, there isn't another bus until 6 o'clock. So it's quite a long wait. Right, there we go. Now the centre of this flower I'm thinking about as well. I think I'm going to leave that for now. I'm actually going to do these two leaves in the earth green yellowish, and I may do some other earth green yellowish colouring while I've got that pencil in my hand. I'm thinking I want this little stem to be earth green yellowish too. I'm going to end up with a lot of this colour. If you've got a favourite green and this one isn't your favourite, you could always substitute it, because it doesn't matter. Now I'm just going to start colouring this darker area. Can you see Johanna's marked it dark? I'm going to layer it up a bit more. And then here I'm going to do it darker from this end and lighter towards the middle like that. We'll put in the lighter green. I'm going to repeat on this side or else I'll forget what I did. And that's key for me with symmetrical designs, is to just do the same on each side. So here I'm going to do more layers here and here. I can hear my boiler making a noise. It confuses me. I don't know what it's doing. There's no heating on. No one's using the hot water. Why is it making a noise? I have to read the manual maybe. These two. Now you see you've got this dot and this bit. I think I'm going to do that bit. And then I may leave that bit for a lighter colour. I'll try it. If it doesn't work, I can I don't know if you can hear the rain. It's really coming down on the windows now. My poor boy's getting wet waiting for the bath. But they both got Macs. One's got a coat and the other's got a Max. They'll be alright. Okay, I'm going to come downwards now. I'm going to keep going with this green and only swap when I finished. So I've decided this is going to be green. You could do it pink. So all the darker areas. Not sure about this centre. I'm going to leave that while I dither. sort of fading it up. So more layers down here. And then less up here. I think with this one we'll do a bit down here as well. It sort of matches the other ones where we did that. I'm going to make that dark in there because it's going to be a bit lighter. Now I think what I'm going to do is do a dark line around here. Like that, and then that bit will be light, the lighter green. Goodness, it really is raining. I guess it's the weather we should expect here in England. But yeah, it's been sort of forecast all day and hasn't come. We had sunshine. Yeah, it's interesting. But anyway, my workmen left nice and early. They do finish early on a Friday. Anyway, and one of them had a nasty cold. He didn't know if it was from his he'd had a vaccine. He didn't know if it was that or if it was just, you know, my son's had a cold, horrible cold, so I don't know if it was that, but he did a good job though. He's a decorator. He did a really nice job with some of the paintwork, so that was good. But I don't know if I've got anyone coming in on Monday or not. I didn't know today and I had 4. There's still quite a lot of electrical work to do. The under counter lights haven't been done yet. I'm just working this out. So that goes around to there. I've got some filled in bits there which will muddle me. I'm just going to ignore them for the minute and do that bit. Yeah, so I've got under counter lights to do and some of the other electrics haven't been done. I've decided that I'm going to do those 4 as petals, but I was going to do it now, but that's what I would do if I was not filming, but I will keep with this colour and get it all done so that you don't get confused. Trying to work out where this starts. Oh, it's this. So it's this bit goes all the way up here, down to there, and then around here. I think I'll keep it darker on this stemmy bit and make those bits lighter. There we go, and I've got to try and remember what I did and do it the same on this side. Round we go. Just a little bit into those bits and then darker here. There we go. Now I'm going to swap to the lighter green, so the May green, just fill in all the spaces so that I can look at what else needs doing. So I'm going to keep this bit really light. I don't really want it to show up too much, just quite even and light. There we go. And then on all these bits I'm basically filling in the gaps, so it's quite straightforward. It's very interesting. So on this nameplate we've got a lock here, obviously. But the key, presumably, is the one on the other page next to us, which helps answer my question, is it a lock and key per double page? I think the answer is yes. There are some pages, like this page, has got more than one key on it, but mainly I would say it was one lock, one key. I mean, it's usually a door, is from what I've observed from looking through. but this one obviously isn't. It's just a lock. I mean, you could, I guess, do a wood background as if this was a keyhole on a huge door. Now I'm going to try doing this bit really light here as well. And it will tie in with that really light bit down there. So there we go. And then we'll fill in all this detail. I've got a few ideas for the stars. And we've got lots of dots. Sometimes when there's a dotty background it makes me feel like I need to do something with it, like put some pastel background or something like that, but I don't think I will. What I'm going to do is these bits here, I'm going to do the same colour as the flower middle. But what that colour is going to be is a mystery to you and me. I was thinking maybe a purple, but because this is quite a salmon orangey pink, I don't think it's going to match. So I think I'm going to do maybe just a yellow of some sort, a yellow flower middle and a yellow. I think it will just help to brighten the whole picture anyway with a bit of yellow in it. So I think it'll work, and we need to go around that. So maybe if we use the green gold for some of it, we could go around that in the green gold, and it might just work. I am keeping it nice and simple. It's just the first picture. It's getting used to the book. And it's always a little bit daunting, I think. This page is not the first one you'd see, because the title page is, but it's one of the first pages that you will see when you open the book if someone's looking through it once you finished it. So I think sometimes people feel pressure to make it the best one, but I don't. I'm just having fun. I don't often show my books to people anyway, so that probably helps. But I just want to have fun with it. My husband always says, oh, you can just always buy another copy if you mess it up. And I know not everyone has that luxury, but it does help you to feel a little bit more relaxed about colouring. And with a new book, it can be daunting. That's why partly why I've started always colouring it once I've done a flip through. Once the book started, you've got to carry on. But it's another reason is that there are some people say they're not keen on flip through, so I figured that if I do the colouring as well, it makes it a bit more interesting. Although I didn't when I did Rita's postcards the other day, because I'm just tidying up now. I'm not doing anything special. I'm just looking at where it's a bit messy. Let's do these petals. Yeah, so as I said, I didn't do it with Rita's postcards, but I've got a postcard picked out to colour with you at some point, but I've got so much to do. So we're back to the pink Carmine, and I can do these. I think even if they're not petals, it just adds a splash of colour to this part. So what I'm doing is I'm layering it on a little bit more near the centre, fading it towards the end, and we're going to use the salmon to finish it off, dark flesh. Now we've got to pick the right colour of yellow to go with this pink, and I think a nice warm yellow is going to work. It's got a slight bit of orange in the pink, so I think that will help. So I'm going to grab this one, because as I said we're going to do some green gold. I'm just going to find it. We want a yellow that's going to work with the green gold. I had thought about this one, but it's a bit too orangey, so I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to start with this one, which is the Cadmium Yellow, and do the centre of the flower. Now I'm just going to put down colour. That's it. I'm not doing anything too special, too tricky. And I'm going to colour in all of these shapes. I don't want to push down too hard. I don't want it too thick. I don't want it to stand out as being catch your eye so much that you don't see any of the rest of the picture. I actually would rather the petals stand out more. So I've just noticed I've missed a bit of green here. So I'll colour that in a minute. Now I was going to colour in that, but I don't think I will. I think I'll leave it. So this is May green. Let's just colour that bit in. There we go. Now I'm having a little look. I'm going to grab the green gold. Excuse me, I need to sharpen it. And do around the keyhole. It's a cheat really, because it's, you know, I'm not going to make gold. I'm actually just going to block colour it in green gold. Like that. And colour across there. Now I'm going to do every star. Sorry, I don't know why my voice is gone. Seems to have disappeared. These are teeny tiny stars. But this isn't going to be my only colour on these shiny bits. Now if you've got a glitter pen or a metallic pen, you may want to use that for the stars. That would look nice. I'm just going to show you how to do it in pencil. I can hear a bird shouting outside. So actually going to go over the top of it in the gold pencil, and it will add a bit of shine. On its own the gold pencil doesn't really impress me, but when it's layered on top of something I think it works quite nicely. The colour itself is a bit pale, you see, but this green gold will show through. So that's what I'm going to do. Now you've got to be brave and write your name on the nameplate. I am absolutely rubbish at doing it, so I'm wondering whether to do it or not. So I'm trying to be brave and do it on camera, but will I remember how to spell my name if I do it on camera? I'm going to use pink. Now what I've had a tip to do is to use a ruler, find the centre of the line. I'm going to do it with, line it up with the keyhole and write the middle letter of your name there in the middle, and then write it that way, and then it will line up. I don't have a middle letter in my name, so I'm just going to write there we go. I was brave and I did it. So that is the end of our flip through and tutorial. If you want your colours to look more intense, you can go over them a few more times. You can use a darker green such as the Chromium Green Opaque to darken some areas. You can use your green gold to lighten some areas if you want to make the green look a little more defined, and I actually might do that, but I'm not going to do it on video, I don't think. I think, well, maybe this is the Chromium Green Opaque, this is the sort of area I'm just going to intensify it a little bit. Oops, and go out of the lines. Oh, it gives me the chance to try out my new eraser. I've sent this gift. These erasers, these are Faber Castell erasers. This one's double-ended, this one's got a handy brush on the end, and they work like a pencil. Ooh, and roll away like a pencil. That's the Faber Castell, and these are Faber Castell pencils. There we go. Lovely. And thank you for my lovely gift. spoil lately. I feel so lucky. Okay, here I'm just going to put a bit more there. Just help to define the colour a little bit more. And those sort of light and shade areas. And Johanna has actually drawn in some lines, so it helps us to know where she thinks there should be a bit more colour. Oops. Keep it symmetrical. So I'm just thinking, I've got distracted, I've got a cooker I can use tonight for tea. But I was actually warned to put it on for about half an hour to get rid of the sort of plasticky smell. So I may need to do that soon. Yeah, I think that's better. And actually, rather than using the green gold, I think I'm going to use the cadmium yellow in a few areas just to make it look a little more vibrant. And as you can see, I'm trying to make sure that I go from one side to the other so I remember what I've been doing. I know it's just on the tips here. So, and up here, just on these tips. And on those bits up there. It just adds a bit of brightness, warmth and intensity, which I rather like. There we go. You may not even see any difference at all, but I can. And I am really going to leave it there now. So thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed. It helps other people see the video, grows the channel and helps spread the word of colouring to everybody, which is lovely. Thank you to everyone who already has. It's really appreciated. Hope you have a lovely weekend. For those of you watching when this comes out, and happy colouring.